Now I'm joined in studio by Paul Dunn. And Paul himself is a highly experienced walking guide. He was a guide in the Slieve Blue Mountains for 8 years before moving to Kinvara 2 years ago. And he lectures in tourism and guiding in the GMIT here in Galway. But he's brought to the table Kinvara Walks, guided walking tours of the Burn. Paul, morning to you. How are you today?
Good morning, Keith.
Thanks for joining. You have a fine colour for a fellow who's out walking all the time. So what a better place than the Burn to be. Now, you've started this, so you have, in the Kinvara region, and you're hoping this takes off because you're trying to get people to stay in the Kinvara region.
Yeah, Kinvara is a very busy village on the Wild Atlantic Way, but a lot of the businesses, people on day trips from Dublin on coaches, just breezing through, glancing out the window, but not getting to experience the, what the area has to offer, in particular the Burn, which, as you well know, is a beautiful area. And there's a lot of initiatives starting up now to try and tap into that market and try to get people to slow down and to stop and sample and get to experience what we have to offer in the area.
So really, I suppose what you're really trying to do, and it's a good initiative too, is you're trying to press pause. So when the tour bus comes in, the people get off, they walk with you. And you're going to be doing walks on Tuesdays and Saturdays for about 3 hours at a time.
That's right.
So if you can get the message out there and get people just to stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to, it's one thing to look at the Burn out the window of a bus, or even to just stop and stroll for 5 minutes on the pavement, but you're not going to get to see the wildflowers that it's famous for. You're not going to understand the history of the Burn, the human habitation that's there for, since Neolithic times, dating back over 5,000 years. To experience that, you really need to get out and into the Burn. And again, that's where, Kinvara Walks, we hope to address it, that we've got the expertise. We can show you these things and we can explain it to you.
So how often are you going to do these walks now?
3 days a week for this year. I mean, our hope would eventually probably be able to do it daily, but we've got to crawl before we walk, if you'll pardon the pun.
So what are the 3 days then?
Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays.
And what time are you going to go at?
We meet at 10 o'clock in the centre of Kinvara, outside the London supermarket there, and we go from there. So it's 10 o'clock each morning.
And do you walk them from there then?
No. We have to... it's generally about 3-4 miles outside of Kinvara. It's the nearest point that you can kind of get onto the hills of the Burn or get into the wilderness, if you like.
Okay, so they park responsibly then, and do you transport them out, or do they transport?
No, they transport themselves. We would have insurance issues with carrying them ourselves.
Put them up in the back of the car, pile them in there. So effectively, really, what you're going to do then is you'll meet at 10 o'clock. Outside Burke's Lawn, the supermarket.
That's right, yeah.
So on a Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And from there then you'll get yourselves out to the starting point.
Correct, yeah.
Under your own steam. Mm-hmm. And then from there, how long will the walk take?
Well, the Tuesday and Saturday walks are timed for 3 hours. Now, I have to emphasise it's a leisurely 3 hours. You don't need to be super fit, any reasonable level of fitness. And, it's the sort of walk that if I went about just doing A to B, I'd do it in less than 2 hours. But we'd be stopping to look at the views, to look at the flowers, to take our time.
Smell the roses.
Exactly.
Smell the flowers.
Or the spring gentians, which are out at the moment.
And you do a longer one then on the Thursday?
Yeah. My idea there is, and I'm not 100% convinced that there's a demand for it yet, but there are a lot of people who are very involved in hill walking around the country and who might be looking for more of a challenging walk than just a simple stroll around the Burn. So that's what the Thursday walk, 5 hours, is aimed at the more experienced hill walkers.
All right, so where can they get further details then on this one?
Well, we have kinvarawalks.com would be a good source to go to. We are listed on the Discover Ireland site as well, and on the wildatlanticway.com site.
Okay, but if you want to get just kinvarawalks.com.
kinvarawalks.com,
if you want to get further details there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just looking at the front. The brochure that you give me, there's a beautiful view.
That's a picture I took myself about 6 weeks ago, and so that was in the middle of the winter, so you can imagine what it's like in summertime, but it's that beautiful in wintertime.
Where are you looking? You're looking down towards Blackhead, is it?
Yeah, you're looking over Bell Harbour there, and obviously a bit of Galway Bay, and it's that particular shot's taken from Abbey Hill. Yeah. One of the things I want to emphasise is that when I started out with this venture, my target market was tourists, but what I'm finding is a lot of people, particularly from the city of Galway, are interested in coming as well. It's amazing how many people in Galway haven't actually gone out and really gone in onto the barn and experienced it. And so that's why I was hoping maybe with your listeners there might be a target market there that would be interested in coming as well. It's not just for tourists. No.
Can I give them your mobile number?
You can, of course, yeah.
Okay, the mobile number for Paul Dunn, if you want to get through to him, is 087 254 0676. That's 087 254 0676. It's a part of the world that I love to spend time in.
Yeah.
And just pause and
it's so accessible from Galway. Like, it's only 35 minutes down the road to Kinvara.
On a bad day.
On a bad day.
Yeah. 087 254 0676. Paul Dunn, thank you for joining us today on the programme. And again, level of fitness, not necessary, but talk to Paul about it. If you have a group, or you've got a social group, or you've got a family coming over, it's very cost effectively done. You can talk about the prices with Paul on that. And again, just give him a quick call there. And again, that number is 087 254 0676. Paul, good luck with that. Let us know how you're getting on later in the year, if you don't mind. And there's loads of brochures that Paul has, and they'll be available throughout Kinvara. So any of the shops, including Burke's Lawn, Spearhead, etc., will have those brochures as well.